What up, peeps? All right, so Echo just dropped on Disney Plus and Hulu. Very anticipated show for most of us, I believe. It was supposed to be the bridge between the MCU Netflix shows, the Marvel Netflix shows and the MCU. It's supposed to bring back that grounded grit and fit it into the MCU world. And from the trailers, that's honestly what we were supposed to get, right? That's the kind of the glimpse. In my mind, I knew better than that because that's a whole different level of production that it's kind of hard to attain, especially since we don't have the same showrunners. And Disney Plus is trying to, or so far, history has proven that it's giving us a different taste of television. Say not bad, but honestly, a lot of it has been bad or mediocre, to be quite honest, aside from the greatness that is Loki 2. But again, was hoping that this would be that step in the right direction. They gave us teasers about Daredevil, bringing back Wilson Fisk's Kingpin, bringing back our original Daredevil cast. And before I go any further, let you know, spoilers are ahead. So what we end up getting is a continuation of our story from Hawkeye, the Disney Plus series, which was phenomenal, and introduced us into Echo and brought Kingpin into the MCU world, as well as a continuation of now confirmed the Daredevil and Netflix series, which are officially MCU canon. We'll get to that here in a little bit as well. But just a little recap on who Echo is. Echo is a Native American woman warrior. In the comics, she gets her name because she's able to echo people's power, similar to Taskmaster. She sees a movement, she can retain it, and she keeps it in there for all time. It never fades away. What they've done in the show, they kind of teased that a little bit in the Hawkeye series, but that's not actually her power. She can kind of mimic it, but not to that full potential. Instead, her echoing power is that she can echo the ancestral women from her tribe, from the Choctaw people, which was a little weird, and I'll get to that as well. Overall, I'd say the show was okay. It could have been so much better. They really tried to cram a lot of story into 5 episodes that were about half an hour each. It was felt very rushed. A lot of the grit that we were promised, we got a taste of, but I saw a comment somewhere else where it said it was basically like the Kmart version of Netflix, and you can feel it. The choreography is slow at times, not as fast paced as it should be. It even looks cheap. So as I was mentioning before, this picks up after Hawkeye, so it's about 5 months, and at the beginning of the show, Echo is injured, and she makes her way back to Oklahoma to the home of her family and her people, while being pursued by Wilson Fisk's organization, who last we saw was shot in the face by Maya. So she's on the run from them. We find out that she's got this estranged relationship with her whole family since her father moved her to New York. And then we find out that the reason that happens is Maya and her mother, who's also deaf, and the reason everyone signed languages in her family, got an accident that ended up killing her mom, and that's how she lost her leg. It was kind of a weak way of her losing her leg, I think, but it was also very realistic, so I guess it's okay. That scene was kind of off because her reaction to being hurt was, well, I don't know, just didn't. I mean, I know there was a little girl that was portraying her, but it still fell off. So she comes back, and trouble follows her. And while that's all happening, her family's trying to rekindle and heal that wound, which it's very funny that that's the subject because that's leads into other things. So while she's there, we get a little backstory regarding her and her people, and in what I felt was a very weird and out of place situation was it also starts off with, for a grounded show, we start off in this cave, a very off-world spiritual cave with her ancestors and this well of knowledge and power, I believe. It was kind of weird to decipher. And I get it's, they're trying to incorporate the spiritualness of the Native American culture, but it didn't feel right. It seemed off. It felt like it was part of another show. Honestly, when that started, I thought I had changed to the wrong channel. I was watching something else. Had it not been for the new Marvel Spotlight banner that goes ahead of these shows, I would have definitely changed the channel. But now it's out of place. So it starts with her people transitioning from this spirit world to human form, and then throughout the show we get a flashback to another ancestor. Each time it's a strong female woman that went outside of the mold of the tribe, which is what Maya is doing, right? And there's two reasons behind that. One, again, we're seeing where she's coming from and how she's not the only one in her lineage that has defied the male logic and become this outspoken and powerful woman, right? But also, we learned that the Echo name that she's now, the way she gets her name Echo now is that she echoes all her lineage into herself. And now she has this weird power to heal, which also it was cool, but that didn't feel right at all either. Like that, it was just a weird power set to give an assassin. And I guess the purpose for that is she's filled with vengeance and so much aggression that the proper circle would be for her to heal instead of hurt now, right? But we had some really, really cool moments. Vincent D'Onofrio always kills it as the Kingpin, but he does, the way it ends and some of his actions do kind of feel off, or even for the Kingpin. We do get our glimpse of Daredevil, but it really is a glimpse. Like, they have a fight scene, which apparently happens during the blip. I hate the fucking blip, the snap. The blip's not something I've ever agreed with, but during the blip, he's apparently still active and on the streets. And he has a showdown with Maya, which was a really good fight. But not great. Like, they utilized, I guess now their budget, so they incorporated some CGI moves, which I feel like they were better off with the really grounded fights that we got from the Netflix show. We didn't need the CGI. We didn't really need a lot of this Spider-Man jumping off the wall shit. But also, the fight ends abruptly. Like, he just disappears and never comes back. And there's no reason as to why. Like, the fight's going hand in hand. They're going at each other. And then he just dips out. That one left me baffled. Like, why? And he never comes back. So if you were hoping to see him after that, sorry. That good fight, but no. And right prior to that, they were carrying on the legacy of that one-shot fight, which again is where we see a lot of what this clearly isn't, and it's not the Netflix show. The fights are okay, but they go so slow, and you can see them so telegraphed. Each move is predictable and slow, and it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. It really wasn't. Which sucks, because again, we have great actors. Maya kills it for the most part. They don't give her a lot of range, but I like the actress. Vincent, like I said, always great. The supporting cast, her family, Biscuit was awesome. I want more Biscuit. We get a taste of the backstory with her father. Zan McLaren. Sorry, I was going blank with that one. I love that actor, and we get to find out, why he ends up with New York with Maya. After Maya's mom dies, they're essentially disowned by the rest of the family and the tribe, so they move away, and then he dies, and then Maya's left in the care of Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, and then she becomes who she is. All in all, like I said, 5 episodes, a lot is crammed in there. It feels very rushed. It feels all over the place. I really wish that we could get back some of our showrunners and some of our production that we had on the Netflix series, which were far superior so far to anything that's been on Disney Plus, to be quite honest, aside from WandaVision, of course, and Loki Season 2. But like for everything else that we've had, they've just been blah. Whereas Netflix, our biggest hit was Iron